The first thing is, well, the second first thing is that when I came up with the topic, that to be or not to be had been rambling around in my head for about a month. I never finished watching Hamlet. I never knew what it was about. I didn't know what he was saying to be or not to be too. So before I did this, I thought, well, maybe I better go and look and see what he's talking about. And now I know why they called it a tragedy. It was just some of the worst stuff I'd ever heard. He was talking about revenge. He was talking about doing away with himself. He was talking about whether or not he could love someone, whether or not he could be king, whether or not he trusted his mother, whether or not he trusted his lady. I tell you, he was really having a struggle with life. And so when I come up with this, trust me, it's nowhere near what he was talking about. It's similar, it's life, but not on the scale he was talking about. My own thing is, some years ago when I first heard that statement, in my mind it meant, who did I want to be? And who did I not want to be? And so I sat down and I wrote a long list of all these things of who I am. This was an internal diagnosis, and this is who I am. And who I said I was calm, kind, confident, trustworthy, generous, honest, good, happy, and knowledgeable. That's just a few of them. I really don't have the page. It's probably 2 or 3 pages long, but I have you covered from head to toe. So anyway, what I did not want to be was the opposite of what I named. And so it was my duty, so to speak, in life to be the things that I said I was going to be. Now, as time went on, you do know you get challenged in life, don't you? Mm-hmm. We do know that, don't we? And I knew that, and I've come to the conclusion I'm going to be challenged 3 times at least on each subject that I've committed that I'm not going to be. So, but I was pretty steadfast in who I was, I thought I was, which was this calm, courteous, kind person. And also someone very trustworthy. Well, I had started nursing, and I was talking to one of the patients in the hospital. And we were discussing a politician who had gotten in trouble for taking bribes, and who was on his way to prison. And we were standing there, you know, 2 common people, and saying, why on earth would you jeopardize your future for $20,000, $30,000 when you stand a chance over a lifetime of making millions? You know, why would you do that? And so we came to the conclusion he was just greedy. And we also came to the conclusion that anyone in those positions were probably greedy and untrustworthy. And so the next patient, who had not been speaking on the topic at all, he said, I happen to be a low-level politician. You know, well, I didn't backtrack on it. I still felt that way. But he said, if you were given a chance, would you take the money? And of course, I said the honorable things, you know, no, I'm a trustworthy person and da-da-da. No, I didn't. I didn't say that. What I said was, I don't know. I don't know. No one has ever offered me $20,000 for a bribe, $1 million for a bribe, and they've never even offered me $100. You know, that was the honest thing to say, but it did have me questioning my own trustworthiness. You know, offer me $1 million and give me a chance to say no. But anyway, that. What made me really think about that answer was, before that, I was wanting a dress to go to a family reunion. And I come from a very poor background, so I'm pretty tight with money, I'll say frugal. And the dress was $75, and I really liked the dress. But I was not accustomed to spending $75 for a dress. And not only that, they had 3 other dresses there that were $25 each that I could wear on a daily basis. This was a dress-up dress. And I did not tend to go many places socializing, so I didn't see any point in paying that much for this one dress. Now, probably if I'd really been my usual self, I would have gone on to the Goodwill, found me a dress, but I didn't do that. I was going to treat myself. So I walked around that day in that store for about 2 hours, trying to decide whether or not I was going to pay $75 for that dress or $25 for 3 dresses. It got so bad I couldn't make up my mind. And the sales lady finally told me, and she told me as if we were conspiring with one another. She said, you know, you can take that dress home, keep the tags on it, wear it, and then bring it back and trade it in for those 3 dresses you won. I said, wow, that's a deal. And so I really, you know, I walked around with something about it, didn't feel right, but nevertheless, she was saying it as if, you know, you and I will get this deal together. And I didn't do it right then. I left the store. I just left the store. And I went home and I thought about that dress all night long. I prayed nobody bought it because it was the only one there. The next morning, I was there as soon as they opened. I bought that dress. And she said, now leave the tags on and you can bring it back and get the 3 other ones. Wear it just to keep it neat. I took the dress home and immediately cut the tags off because I was too tempted for a $75 dress. Or, you know, it would have been 4 dresses for the $75. So, you know, I was so tempted until I just kept the dress and got plenty of wear out of it. The thing is, the fact that I was so mightily tempted, I didn't think I could be that tempted for a $75 dress. But I was. I was dangerously close to wearing that dress and keeping the tags on and probably having to flip out at the table or something. But I kept the dress and did not get the other one. So that was like, kind of like, I made it, I guess. And then the third thing is, so, you know, but that did have me questioning my honor, you know, that I was that tempted by that small of a, you know, trade-off. The third thing was a situation in which I found myself at a doctor's office. And the doctor was excellent with my granddaughter. She was ill and he was taking care of her, and I felt being very thorough. And so I watched in admiration at the way he researched and talked to us and explained things to us and all. And she wasn't feeling well, so he started talking to me and showing me the paperwork and do this, do that, okay. And then he left the room, and then he came back and explained some other things and left the room. And he had us together, gave us the papers for discharge, and then he came and sat down by me. And he started talking politics. And he actually was speaking in a way, let me say, his choice was not my choice. And as he started to say these things, I felt my anger rising. And I tried to sit there and be calm, that calm, kind person that I am. Except that not to be me showed up. And I began to say things in an unkind, uncalm way. And pretty, I won't say rude, but dangerously close. And I said, finally, I have to go. We cannot discuss this. I have to go. And so we left. And I was told, oh, Grandmama, you were kind of rude. Darling, I wasn't like I could be. But I held on, and it made me, when I got home, I thought about this happiness I am to be, this calm I am to be, this disciplined person I am to be. All of those had me, I won't say really question, because I have a little bit of study that I do that's called the Kabbalah. And the Kabbalah, there are several types, there are at least 4 types of it, but I study kind of the practical type, let's say. And it's based on what's called a glyph called the Tree of Life. I hope you can see this. And it has 3 pillars. Now, in my mind, I might have said I failed, but I don't think so. I don't think I failed on any level, because just like she said, I have to be me. And if I'm distorting or reconstructing my point of view to serve others, it's not legitimate. What Kabbalah says in this tree is, each one of these pillars, there are 3. And one of the pillars is severity, one of the outer pillars. And one of the other outer pillars is mildness. And in the center is balance. When we reach balance, that's what we're striving for. And in this life, that's what we're striving for, is balance. The Kabbalah says, severity without mercy is cruelty. Mercy without severity is weakness. The center is balance, where you incorporate both. And you incorporate them when it is needed. Not just because you want to be cruel and you have control and you have power. That's not really balance. It's an extreme. The other is when you're yielding to everything, giving up to everything, denying yourself everything. That's weakness. It may appear to be strength, but it's actually weakness. Your job is to do God's job, and that's to try to get to the middle. In each step of the tree, it doesn't go straight up, as in severity is the way to go, or mildness is the way to go, or balance is the way to go, but very few people can achieve that. So it zigzags, and it goes from one extreme to the other. Perhaps in this one lifetime, perhaps in many lifetimes. But the achievement is to reach the top. We actually come from God, and our task is to get back. And it is to work our way through each one of these trials that we're given to get to the top, to get to what they call the crown. So, another thing it says is, when we're striving for this middle, that means to be or not to be is the path to God. They balance in the center, and when they reach that, they're called beauty. Now, knowing me and knowing that sometimes I have to kind of find a way to work with myself to get to the center from either extreme, I had to find a way, can I use that, to see myself working with God no matter what the situation is. Now, typically, other people we all have names for God. We might call God Allah, Jehovah, Great, Yahweh, whatever name you have. For me, it's the concept of deity, because to me that's pretty all-encompassing. And so when I have to decide something, I put God in front of it. I don't know what word this is. Desire. Well, in patriarchal, God is desire. So that's how I see desire. I make it God first. And I put myself in it. And I become, and this is God's, for me to be servant to God. If I have to decide something, I put that I in there, and I take God's side on it. If I have to describe something, I put that I in there, it becomes God, and I describe it the way I think God would want me to. And the same, and this is the severity, the balance, and the mildness of the tree. So this kind of helps me keep myself in focus of the person I said I wanted to be, but that now I realize that I have to travel. I have to decide where I am, because the tree of life actually starts in life from the bottom, and we start working our way up through all the trials and tribulations, all the things in life that are going to challenge us. And we have to decide where we are. This helps me sometimes to decide where I actually am. Because I like to think I'm up here, but I know better. And I think a lot of other people know better, especially my grandchildren and family. So that's my way of trying to live this life, and I encourage all of you to be who you are. And from time to time, who you are may not look like who you want to be. And forgive yourself for that. Try to do better, and try to find that place where you can be calm, where you can be balanced, and where you can be peaceful. And so I hope that helps someone. I thank you, and bless you.